Hola amigos, welcome to my movie analysis channel. So have you guys ever seen a living panda trolling on the streets in Italy? Or seeing a panda climbing on the pizza tower? Oh, I mean pizza tower. Well, anyway, today I'm going to talk about a movie as unusual as an Italian panda. The movie is called The Last Emperor by an Italian movie director, Bernardo Bertolucci, who conducted the movie shootings in China. The Forbidden City, to be more specific. Yes, you are not wrong if you heard some places like Wicked Wizard stolen. Indeed, the freaking Forbidden City is not the place next to Hogwarts, but an ancient palace in China located in the imperial city of Beijing, all the way from Ming Dynasty to Qing Dynasty. The Forbidden City has been functioned as the Chinese imperial palace and the winter residence of the emperor for more than 500 years. The movie initiated with a man trying to commit suicide in a dark prison. Then, as the man's blood dripping from his wrist, the storyline changes to the man's reminiscence. In the retrospect, the man or the little child's identity got revealed as the successor of Empress Cixi, who is named Pu Yi. One thing I really like about this movie is that this movie did not apply the general sequential plot. Instead, the movie adopted numbers of flashbacks to create the effects of engaging the early lifehood of the last emperor Pu Yi. Soon after Pu Yi was ordered to the Forbidden City, Cixi has passed away. I know that he has been such a jinx, but all of a sudden a confused little child who are forced to undergo a coronation ceremony and be bowed by hundreds of servants became the emperor of a country. Pu Yi, who was incapable of managing himself, not to mention for him to govern a whole country. So he was grounded in the Forbidden City and also taken care by his servants. When Pu Yi was 8 years old, he was assigned with two wives, Wan Rong and Wen Shou, and also his 7-year-old brother Pu Jie came and visited him and remained in the Forbidden City to be a playmate and companion to the emperor. Another thing I really like about this movie is that the movie director has done a decent amount of researches about the historical events and anecdotes. In one of the most interesting scenes, Pu Yi and Pu Jie were trying to learn the calligraphy. Pu Yi got so fed up because he found out his brother Pu Jie was wearing the yellow cloth. In ancient China, only emperors were allowed to wear the yellow cloth. Pu Jie in return accused Pu Yi for acting like a jerk and told him that he is no longer the emperor of China because of the revolution, which overthrows Qing dynasty. Pu Yi didn't believe it and forced his servant to drink off the ink to demonstrate his power as the one and the only emperor of China. Speaking of the characters, among all the Chinese emperors, Pu Yi ought to be the most westernized and fashionable emperor, due to one crucial person in his life. Mr. Johnston, who graduated from Cambridge University, a straight A student with both fluent English and Chinese, took a job as the emperor's English teacher. In my opinion, Mr. Johnston was more like a fashion innovator to Pu Yi. Mr. Johnston assigned English name to Pu Yi and introduced Pu Yi to different Western products. For instance, the bicycle and the glasses. People often say one takes on the color of its company. After years of studying with Mr. Johnston, Pu Yi then has a dream to study abroad in Cambridge University. He even cut off his braid, which symbolized his preference of Western culture. One day when Pu Yi was having a good time with his wives, the Republic of China army broke the compromising rules and expelled Pu Yi from the Forbidden City. Then the Japanese came and promised a luxurious life and the recovery of his throne for Pu Yi if he went with them to Tianjin and Manchuria. Pu Yi did not give a second thought and accepted Japanese advice. He brought his wives to Tianjin and had a cosmopolitan lifestyle for a while. But his wives were driven crazy by him because Pu Yi abandoned his dream to study abroad, and his foolishness of believing Japanese would make him a real emperor instead of a tool. Plotline changed back to the prison, and Pu Yi was served by his servants for wearing his shoes. This scene ingeniously shows that Pu Yi's incapability of managing himself. As a grown-up, he cannot even manage to do the basic skills of living, like wearing his shoes, brushing his teeth, and wearing his clothes. And ironically enough, it also suggested the theme of the movie, which is the incapability of the emperor. For being an emperor, Puyi should be the most powerful man in the world, I mean, in China, at least in China. However, he was constantly confined into one single area, such as the Forbidden City and Manchuria. Even later in his life, he was confined in the prison, so he never actually get freed. The emperor was just a name and never like a real emperor. He was like more like a bird in the cage, always being confined and trapped in some place. In the final part of the movie, it echoes with the beginning of the movie, and Puyi was released from the prison. He decided to go back to his childhood accommodation, the Forbidden City, but this time not as an emperor but a tourist, which means he still has to pay for the ticket fee to enter in his own house. And this is simply ridiculous. When he entered in the hall, he looked at the throne he once sat on. He started to ponder about his life. In the end, I'm not going to spoil it. If you are interested into the end, please do watch it yourself, and thanks for watching.